Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 105 based on novel. So let's start. The woman raised her hand and called to the dragon and tiger tattoos. The two tattoos immediately trembled and then, without any hesitation, they flew to the woman. The two tattoos circled the woman as if they were very happy. Shortly after, the woman slowly returned to the scroll and following her were the two tattoos. The third ancestor in the 11th layer immediately coughed out blood. This was an injury caused by her tattoo beasts being stolen. Her face was filled with shock. Which ancestor is this? She was willing to seal herself into the tattoo beast Atlas to become a tattoo beast herself. The third ancestor took a deep breath, then she pointed at her forehead and a 9-leaf plant appeared. Tattoo beast Altars, return! The scroll in the first layer quickly closed after the third ancestor called it and disappeared. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Without a word, he grabbed his scroll. He didn't have time to check it as he flew toward the exit. At the giant hole leading out of the immortal graveyard, Wang Lin surrounded himself with soul fragments once more to get through the tree. It was now night outside and completely dark. The moment he came out, he disappeared once more without a trace. Wang Lin didn't return the domain soul fragment to the third ancestor. Ever since this domain soul fragment had left the third ancestor, it was its own existence and was no longer under her control. Otherwise, there would have been no way for the giant demon clan ancestor to obtain it. If the third ancestor had any control, she probably would have taken it back when she saw Wang Lin. In addition, Wang Lin could tell from their talk that she didn't care too much about this domain soul fragment. It was as if it didn't matter whether she had it or not. However, to Wang Lin, this domain soul fragment had great use. It was his ace to deal with a certain person. Zhu Qzi was currently cultivating in the back mountain of Mount Suzaku. There was a red crystal floating before him. This crystal was shaped like a heart. It was the cultivation planet heart, which was used to control the cultivation planet crystal. Shortly after, Zhu Qzi opened his eyes. There was a trace of madness in his eyes. This kind of gaze didn't appear on him often. Yun Qzi, I don't hate the Forsaken Immortal clan, but my hatred for you is too great. You traitor, ha ha, what a good betrayal. Although I was injured when you sneak attacked me, I was excited. Qianping Hai, if you still have a soul, take a good look, this is the person you chose. Yun Qzi, you and I grew up together and have similar talent, yet why did the previous Suzaku, Qianping Hai, always look favorably upon you? He always had praise for you, yet to me, he was always full of abuse. He always looked at me with a cold gaze. It felt like he would have killed me if I made a single mistake. When he gave me the mysterious Suzaku formation, I was very excited and felt very grateful to him. I even forgot all the unhappiness in the past and only had one thought in my mind, give my life to planet Suzaku and become a good Suzaku. However, I never thought that Qianping Hai was that vicious. The mysterious Suzaku formation is a double-edged sword. Every time it is used, the origin soul suffers great damage. If it is used too much, the origin soul will never be able to recover. Even now that he's dead, I still don't understand why he did all of this. If it wasn't for the fact that I had secretly planned for many years and finally got the cultivation planet crystal from the last Suzaku when he died, I'm afraid that this generation Suzaku wouldn't have been me. Qianping Hai, you were blind to appoint Yun Qzi as the next Suzaku. If I had followed your order and given Yun Qzi the cultivation planet crystal, the planet would have been taken by the Forsaken Immortal clan. Qianping Hai, you old fart, I didn't bury your body in the Suzaku grave but sold it to the Corp sect. That was the only way to soothe my hatred for you. Qianping Hai, the truth proves that I'm the most suited person to be the next Suzaku. You were wrong back then, so wrong. This old man searched through the entire planet and finally found Qian Feng among your descendants. This person has the same spirit root as you and he looks similar to you as well. Every time I see him, my hatred for you increases a bit. This old man is going to raise him and give him the mysterious Suzaku formation. Every time I see him use it, my heart will be filled with joy. This is the only way for me to repay you for what you have done to me. Yun Qzi, you know about the existence of the cultivation planet crystal. You gave me 3 months to consider if it is worth it to destroy everything to get help from the Cultivation Alliance. Although the cultivation planet crystal was sealed by the second Suzaku, which made it so that the future Suzakus won't be able to control it, as long as the cultivation planet heart breaks, it can still cause the cultivation planet crystal to break as well. However, the price is too big because even I have a piece of my soul inside. Once the cultivation planet crystal breaks, then even I will die. The Cultivation Alliance won't casually get involved in matters with every cultivation planet, but that is only under the premise that the cultivation planet crystal doesn't break. The Cultivation Alliance is almost crazy about keeping the cultivation planet crystals intact. This matter is filled with mysteries and none of the previous Suzakus could figure out why. However, one thing is for sure, once the cultivation planet crystal shatters, the Cultivation Alliance will immediately send people to investigate. At that moment, your tiny Forsaken Immortal clan will die for sure. You gave me 3 months of time to let me carefully consider this because you didn't want to push me too far. YunQZ, this old man is going to play a game with you. If you can get this cultivation planet crystal before my life ends, then I have no problem giving it to you. But once you lose, this old man will have to go crazy and destroy the cultivation planet crystal to drag your Forsaken Immortal clan down with me. This old man can't be the first Suzaku, but I can still be the last Suzaku. Don't give me the chance. The madness in ZhuQZ's eyes deepened and he began to laugh like crazy. To the west of the Suzaku continent was a plain. This plain was covered in thousands of simple huts. There were cultivators cultivating inside and outside the huts. Most of these cultivators were disciples of sects from rank 5 cultivation countries. This place was the western defense line. The 3 months of truce was a good time for them to recover. However, it didn't mean that they had dropped their guard. There was still a large number of cultivators out patrolling. The area 5,000 kilometers away from them was covered by a black cloud. That was where the Forsaken Immortal clan's Western Assault Army was located. In the center of the cultivators' camp there was a very lavish hut. Qian Feng sat inside it with Red Butterfly behind him. There was confusion in her eyes along with a very well-hidden sense of struggle. Qian Feng's eyes were like lightning as he stared at the black cloud in the distance. His expression was very gloomy. What is that old man thinking? Things are getting too dangerous. We might as well give up on planet Suzaku and go far away, then come back when we have the power to win. If this stalemate continues for too long, people's hearts will break. His eyes lit up, he let out a cold snort and muttered to himself, I wonder where that Seng Nyo is. He dared to injure me. If I meet him, I will definitely devour his domain. Although the 1 billion soul flag is powerful, the old man gave me a treasure. Seeing how bothered the old man was, this treasure must be very powerful. With this treasure I have a certain amount of confidence in dealing with Seng Nyo's 1 billion soul flag. However, it is best not to use the treasure the old man gave me unless I have to. That old bag of bones hid his intentions well, but long ago I noticed that his attitude towards me is a bit strange. I will require Junior Apprentice Sister's help to devour Seng Nyo's domain. I'll have to carefully plan this out. After I devour this person's domain and capture Junior Apprentice Sister, I'll leave this planet. The universe is large and I can do wherever I want. Before, I cared about the title of Suzaku, but now that the planet is a mess, that title is useless to me. However, before I leave, I have to kill that slut, Zixin. 1 month later, a figure appeared near the corpse sect in Jiao. This person was a young man wearing a white robe. His face gave off an ancient aura. He was Wang Lin. After leaving the Immortal Graveyard, Wang Lin didn't rest and used the transfer array in Chu to enter the foreign battleground. He wanted to use the Wandering Souls there to repair the 1 billion soul flag. Unfortunately, although he had found Wandering Souls, they couldn't be used to repair the 1 billion soul flag. The moment a Wandering Soul entered the soul flag, it would go crazy. It would either devour soul fragments to make itself stronger or be attacked by multiple soul fragments and be destroyed. The two were natural enemies, so, like fire and water, they couldn't be mixed. As a result, using the Wandering Souls to repair the 1 billion soul flag was a failure. As for soul devourers, Wang Lin caught one to test, but the result was the same, so he gave up on this method and left the foreign battleground. The last thing Wang Lin needed to do was get to the giant body under the corpse sect in Jiao. This body belonged to the giant demon clan ancestor that brought the giant demon clan to planet Suzaku. Wang Lin had a giant axe in his bag of holding. This axe belonged to this founding ancestor. Wang Lin came to extract a large amount of blood from this giant demon clan ancestor so his original body could use the blood to use the ancient gods' techniques. This was part of his preparations for leaving this place. Wang Lin had no interest in getting involved with the mess on planet Suzaku, he only wanted to get the cultivation planet crystal to retrieve that piece of his soul. Then he will go to planet Tianyun to find the All-Seer and become his disciple. He will then cultivate to the ascendant stage under a new sky. He will definitely come back to planet Suzaku in the future, but at that time, he won't be someone caught in someone else's plan. He will be like an emperor that the current Suzaku will have to look up to. And I'll definitely have a chance to see just what kind of powerful organization this cultivation alliance really is. Wang Lin took a deep breath. As he looked into the sky, his urge to leave increased. However, before leaving, although I have no way of dealing with Zhu QZ, I have to test his two disciples, Liu Mai and Qian Feng. At the far west side of Zhao lies an extremely cold plain. Even cultivators rarely step foot there. Other than the extreme cold, this place has the 9 Earth aura, something that even nascent soul cultivators don't want to touch. Anyone under the nascent soul stage will be seriously injured if they touch it. This is where the corpse sect in Zhao is located. Wang Lin's figure moved past the plain like a ghost. He could see now that this place was surrounded by a giant formation, so normal people wouldn't be able to enter at all. However, this formation was really easy to break for the current Wang Lin. He stopped somewhere on the plain, then he took a step and disappeared. He was standing on one of the formation's eyes when he disappeared. When Wang Lin reappeared, he was underground. He looked around and saw the endless tunnels and caves of the maze-like corpse sect. There were cultivators cultivating in each of the caves. These people were at various cultivation levels, most were at the foundation establishment stage, there were a few at the core formation stage, and even fewer nascent soul cultivators. Wang Lin's divine sense spread out and the entire corpse sect appeared in his mind. He paid extra attention to the cave at the center of the corpse sect. Li Qingping was quietly cultivating at the large cave at the center of the corpse sect. There was a cloud of black fog behind him that had countless tentacles extending from it. Li Qingping was the current sect master of the corpse sect in Zhao. He had already reached the late stage of nascent soul. His outer appearance made him seem like he was around 40 years old. Although some of the hair on his head had turned white, he looked very handsome. He must have been a ladies' man when he was younger. He has been in charge of the corpse sect in Zhao for 200 years and has always been very cautious. He rarely interacted with the outside world, making the corpse sect even more mysterious in Zhao. He spent all his time in closed-door cultivation in the hopes of reaching the soul formation stage before the soul inside his corpse puppet takes him over. Once he reaches the soul formation stage, the corpse sect headquarters on planet Suzaku will have a good body prepared for him. As a result, he will be able to become a core disciple of the corpse sect, and if his performance is good, he might get moved to the headquarters. Li Qingping, who was cultivating, didn't detect Wang Lin's divine sense at all, but the black fog behind him trembled as two ghostly eyes appeared within it. However, what the eyes revealed wasn't the normal calm and coldness, they were filled with fear and terror. "Senior," the figure trembled and was about to speak. "You are an interesting little fellow to be able to detect my arrival with only your mid-stage soul formation cultivation." Wang Lin's voice echoed in the ears of the black fog. The black fog began to tremble even more. When Wang Lin's divine sense swept by, he felt a cold wind blow on him, causing his soul origin soul to become unstable to the point that it was on the verge of collapsing. This kind of thing only happened when he faced the elders of his sect. The black figure quickly said, with a trembling voice, "Please have mercy, Senior." The reason Junior was able to notice is because Junior's cultivation method is related to divine sense, so I just barely managed to notice. He knew that with this Senior's cultivation, even if he had his body, the Senior would be able to kill him without any problems. He guessed that this person was a soul transformation old monster. "Oh? What sect are you from?" Wang Lin sent out a message with his divine sense. "Senior, I'm not a person from planet Suzaku but a disciple of the Mile sect on planet Tianyun." Junior lost his body and spent a great deal of resources to buy a body from the corpse sect, the black fog quickly replied, and he didn't dare to lie about anything. "If you are someone from planet Tianyun, why are on planet Suzaku?" Wang Lin's divine sense was cold. The black fog's keen perception of divine sense was really good, so he was immediately able to detect the coldness in Wang Lin's divine sense. His body trembled and he quickly answered, "Senior, please don't be angry, don't be angry. If I were to recover on planet Tianyun, it would cost too much. Junior can't afford to pay that many celestial jades. So I could only choose to recover on planet Suzaku." Although it will take longer to possess, it is the best choice for Junior. Wang Lin asked, "What is your name?" The Black Fog quickly replied, "Junior's name is Cao Edo." The Black Fog's careful reply reminded Wang Lin of Shuligua. Cao Edo. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his divine sense formed a giant head that reached toward the Black Fog. Cao Edo was terrified and immediately left Li Qingping's body. He tried dodging the hand and then said, "Everything Junior says is the truth, it's the truth." He had some mysterious connection with Li Qingping. Now that Cao Edo had moved, it shocked Li Qingping awake and he shouted, "Who?" Ripples appeared in the air as Wang Lin walked out. The moment Wang Lin walked out, he looked coldly at Li Qingping. Just one glance caused Li Qingping's body to tremble and start soaking in cold sweat. He secretly cursed. That one glance was like a sword piercing right through his body. Even his nascent soul was frozen and his entire body felt cold. It was as if he was completely naked and had no secrets left to hide in front of this person. Wang Lin coldly said, "You, shut up." Then he looked at the Black Fog that was huddled in the corner of the cave. Li Qingping inhaled a breath of cold air. He didn't dare to move an inch as cold sweat covered his forehead. Even when he met Soul Formation seniors back at headquarters, none of them even had 1/10,000th of the aura that this person had. Li Qingping's heart was pounding as he bitterly thought, "Soul transformation. It must be a soul transformation, old freak. When did this old monster get here?" Wang Lin's right hand reached out and Cao Edo's origin soul was dragged over from the corner. This Cao Edo's face was filled with panic as he screamed, "Senior, I'm a customer of the Corpse Sect. If you capture me to refine a treasure, the Corpse Sect definitely won't let you go." Wang Lin sneered and calmly said, "Who said I was going to refine you into a treasure? You are not even worth it." Cao Edo trembled and thought that if this soul transformation cultivator wanted to capture a soul formation cultivator's soul, it would be too easy, there was no need to come looking for him. Cao Edo suppressed the fear in his body and carefully asked, "Senior, you. Could it be that you want me to do something?" Wang Lin's voice didn't contain a trace of arrogance as he calmly said, "Become my slave for 100 years. After 100 years, I'll gift you a soul transformation body. Do you agree?" Cao Edo was startled. A soul transformation body was something he never thought he could obtain in his life. If he had a soul transformation body, then increasing his cultivation level to the soul transformation stage would be a lot easier. Even if he couldn't reach the soul transformation stage, all of his spells would still become a lot more powerful. It has to be said that a soul transformation body was like the body of a celestial. In the Corpse Sect, the cost of a soul transformation corpse was beyond imagination. Even if he had all of his lifespan, he would still need more than 1,000 years to buy half a corpse. He clenched his teeth. "Senior, you have to promise that I won't die in this 100-year period." Wang Lin calmly said, "As long as I don't die, you won't." Cao Edo quickly and respectfully said, "Okay." Cao Edo greets Master. He was going to risk it all. A soul transformation cultivator had no reason to trick him. He also knew that the reason Wang Lin had thrown out such a tempting offering meant that he would be of a great use to this person. However, to get anything good, there had to be risks, and he was willing to take this risk for a soul transformation body. "Very good. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to do anything dangerous. I just want your knowledge about planet Qianyun. How much do you know about the planet?" As Wang Lin said this, he waved his hand and Li Qingping passed out. Wang Lin didn't want others to know that he was about to go to planet Qianyun. He had been very careful about this matter. Cao Edo quickly said, "Planet Qianyun? Master, I grew up on planet Qianyun, and although it is very big, I'm very familiar with it." "Master, could it be that you want to go to planet Qianyun and have me act as your guide?" "That is correct. Since that is the case, our deal can happen." Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and took out a soul flag. This soul flag was the one containing Li Yuanfeng, the one he had personally made. With one wave, before Cao Edo could react, Wang Lin put Cao Edo inside the flag. With that, Wang Lin disappeared from the cave. This wasn't his first time here, so he was very familiar with his place. He moved through the maze-like corpse sect toward the spot where he once cultivated. Along the way, not a single corpse sect disciple was able to detect Wang Lin. Even those that weren't cultivating were unable to notice Wang Lin as he passed by them. Just like this, Wang Lin soon arrived at the cave where he cultivated before. There was someone cultivating inside. This cultivator was a girl. She looked ordinary, but she had a determined expression on her face as she continued to absorb the yin energy coming out from the small holes in the wall. Wang Lin appeared inside the cave and took a look at the girl before turning into smoke and entering one of the small holes in the wall. When Wang Lin was still at the foundation establishment stage, his body couldn't enter the small hole. He could only enter with his divine sense, and it required a lot of energy. So he had to keep drinking the dew from the heaven-defying bead to slowly extend his divine sense until he reached where the giant was. After he was inside the small hole, before he even got far, a call came from underground. "Save me!" This sound reached Wang Lin's ears and went directly into his soul. This was the exact same cry from before. He ignored the voice and quickly moved through the small hole. With his cultivation, he could quickly move to the hidden chamber through the small hole in the wall. Shortly after, Wang Lin arrived at a cave with countless small holes in the walls. He came in through one of these small holes. There was a giant coffin at the center of the cave. This coffin looked very ordinary and had no decorations at all. However, a powerful yin aura was leaking from inside it. This yin aura was turned into white gas which was being sucked away by the small holes in the wall. The coffin was completely empty aside from the giant hole in it. The yin aura was coming from this hole. Wang Lin didn't stop, he dove into the coffin. The yin aura here was very thick, it formed waves of yin energy that attempted to stop him from going deeper. "Save me!" The call for help became even more eager as it came out from the hole and echoed in Wang Lin's ears. Wang Lin went into the hole. The deeper he went, the stronger the yin aura got. The yin aura circled around Wang Lin but wasn't able to get inside him. As Wang Lin went deeper, a mass of blue gas appeared before him. The blue gas seemed to have formed a door that sealed off the area. Wang Lin had encountered this blue gas before as well. Back then he had to squeeze in from the side. However, now the yin gas collapsed as Wang Lin smashed into it. "Save me!" The call for help became even more clear the moment the blue gas was swept away. Wang Lin's body back then couldn't handle this yin energy. If he had made a mistake, the yin energy would have invaded his body and then frozen him solid. But right now he felt extremely comfortable as he smashed through all the doors formed by yin energy. When he was near the bottom of the hole, Wang Lin smashed through the last yin energy door and made his way inside. This was a very large cave. According to Wang Lin's analysis, it was roughly the same size as the plane above. At the center of the cave was a large cloud of white fog that released a powerful yin energy. This white fog took up 3/4 of the cave. Wang Lin's figure appeared in the air. His eyes lit up as he stared at the white fog. There would occasionally be flashes of ghostly light coming from within the white fog as the purple vines moved. The more the vines moved, the more white fog appeared. Wang Lin's eyes lit up, he took a deep breath, and blew out a breath of air. A gust of wind appeared and blew away a large amount of white fog, but the moment it was blown away, more appeared. Wang Lin remained calm as he let out a cold snort. He slapped his bag of holding and took out a celestial jade. He held it in his left hand while his right hand formed a seal. He pointed at the white fog with his right hand and whispered, "Wind, move." A basic wind skill that could be used by Foundation establishment cultivators was being used by Wang Lin right now. However, this spell contained celestial spiritual energy, so its power was beyond imagination. A gust of wind several times more powerful appeared and blew toward the white fog. This gust looked like a tidal wave quickly blowing the white fog away. Then it turned into a tornado and pulled in any white fog that got close to it. The fog was like falling leaves being picked up by a gust. All of the fog was blown away by the tornado, so what was hidden inside it was revealed. A large, naked, blue-skinned body was floating in the air. His skin wasn't rough like the ancient gods, but mirror smooth. The top of the corpse was covered in purplish-green plants. Every time the plants moved, the corpse would shrink a bit but quickly recover. This cycle was creating the white fog. What shocked Wang Lin was that on the forehead of this giant was a faint axe that was flashing weakly. He was now confident that this person was the giant demon clan's founding ancestor that had brought the giant demon clan here. This person was the one that charged into the Forsaken Immortal clan's army with the giant axe and killed 3 nine-leaf shamans. Wang Lin now had a much better understanding of how the Forsaken Immortal clan's ranking was done. Ignoring those below the 7-leaf stage, 7 and 8-leaf shamans were similar to soul transformation cultivators, while 9-leaf shamans were similar to early-stage ascendant cultivators. To be able to kill 3 early-stage ascendant-level cultivators was not easy, and let's not forget that he charged into the middle of the enemy's troops to do so. That kind of fierceness and battle strength was rarely seen. Save me, the call for help was even clearer here and continued to enter Wang Lin's ears. Wang Lin ignored the call. Instead, he took a closer look at the giant body. He could feel a powerful life force coming from the body, but there seemed to be a mysterious formation that stopped the life force from moving. As for the purplish-green plants, their roots were like sharp needles that pierced through the giant's body. They were absorbing his boundless life energy and turning it into yin energy. This wasn't the first time Wang Lin had seen this, but even now he was still shocked. This giant demon clan ancestor's body, although it wasn't as strong as the ancient gods, was several times stronger than Wang Lin's current 3-star ancient god body. It was comparable to a 5 or 6-star ancient god's body. The giant demon clan founding ancestor's cultivation level is indeed shocking. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Save me, the calls for help became more frequent. It seemed like this giant demon clan founding ancestor had noticed Wang Lin's presence. Wang Lin ignored the cry for help and instead landed on the giant body. The moment he landed, those purplish-green parasitic plants began to emit a sizzling sound. Shortly after, the plants began to move. Their sharp and bloody roots came out from the giant's body and pointed at Wang Lin. As this happened, the giant's body kept twitching as if it was in pain. Wang Lin coldly looked at the plants, then he waved his hand and flames covered the area. The flames contained celestial spiritual energy, so the plants immediately backed away from them. He didn't want to harm these plants. With his experience, he could tell that these plants had a lot to do with the restriction inside this giant. If he destroyed the plants, he might mess with the seal and free the giant. Wang Lin didn't want to sit down with the giant and ask if he could borrow his blood. At the moment those plants backed up, Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and a celestial sword appeared. He swung the sword down on the giant's body. The sound of 2 pieces of metal scraping against each other could be heard and sparks flew out from where the sword landed. A powerful pressure had suddenly repelled the sword. This force pushed the celestial sword back 3 inches, causing Wang Lin to exclaim in surprise. When he saw how easy it was for the planets to stab into the giant's body, he thought that it would be easy to cut it with the sword. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he looked around at the surrounding plants. He quickly got out of there with the celestial sword in hand. The surrounding plants let out sizzling sounds, then bolts of purple lightning came from within them and attacked Wang Lin. Wang Lin waved the celestial sword, causing all of the plants to retreat. He reached out and caught one of the plants and ripped it in half. As he examined one half of the plant, he saw a green liquid that gave off a rotten smell coming out from the tip. After grabbing a bunch of plants, Wang Lin pressed them down onto the giant's body. Then he heard a sound similar to the crackling of wood burning. Black gas immediately rose from the spot where the plant's roots touched and then they easily went into the giant's body. Just at this moment, a powerful force came from the plants. They broke free from Wang Lin's hand and disappeared into the giant's body. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He looked at the surrounding plants that wouldn't dare to come closer and sneered. These tentacles are interesting. He touched his bag of holding and took out a jade bottle. He got this jade bottle by accident during his trip to the celestial realm. There was nothing special about this bottle, its only feature was that it could hold a large amount of liquid. Its function was similar to that of a bag of holding. Holding the jade bottle in one hand, Wang Lin pressed his other hand on the wound on the giant's body. With some force, he pushed out blood into the jade bottle. Save me, Wang Lin was standing on the giant. This call for help seemed to be right next to his ear. It was very clear. Wang Lin continued to ignore the giant demon clan's founding ancestor. He wouldn't save someone who he couldn't control unless he had a reason. Once this person regains his cultivation, he will have no use for Wang Lin. And even if this person promised good treasures, it would be hard to attract Wang Lin. Aside from the blood he was here for, he didn't want to get into any unnecessary trouble. The blood came out drop by drop, which was pretty slow. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he looked at the blood vessel on the giant's neck. There had to be a lot of blood there. However, there were a lot of purplish-green plants covering the giant's chest. They were everywhere, leaving no place to get a foothold. Save me. I'll give you the giant demon clan's main treasure. This video will end here.